Hey, welcome back to a little update for you. We're at San Jacinto Monument. It is very windy right here. But, man, I just came down from the top floor where it is 570 feet above the ground. We're standing here on the platform that was built for the monument. And there's taking photos of all the writings on the history of the battle for the Republic of Texas and what happened. They got all the way up to the top. Now, check this out. Hang on. Look at this. Look at this. Way up there at the very top of that, where there's an observation made up. Right? Constant problem. You get down the way of good stuff happening. But all the way up there on the top of the observation platform, the floor is 489 feet above the ground, and it's totally amazing. You can see all over Houston shipping channel. Sorry, I apologize. Sorry, Texas. The Houston shipping channel. Here's the thing about this, and I want to give a shout out and say thank you, Glenn Morshower, for helping me cultivate and stay in a possibility mindset. So I'm enjoying the photos. I listened to the whisper, as Glenn teaches, to stop by here. I wanted to hustle over to San Antonio before the sun goes down so I can at least do a photo at the Alamo. Stop by here. It was just drawn to it. It's like, oh, okay, all right. Listen, I'll go over there. Was having a great time in the museum. Went up to the platform. Gentleman comes off of the elevator and says, "Would you help me?" I go, yeah, sure. He was off balance, disoriented. Wasn't sure if he was afraid of heights or what the deal was. Takes my arm. One of the docents, this guy, he's holding on to her arm. We're walking over. We look out the window. We talk for a bit. They head back downstairs. Take a couple more pictures to keep it short even longer. We got a chance to talk at the reception desk with the docents that he was talking with. And it turns out that this is the first time he'd been back since his grandfather. Fantastic. It's very cool to do that. Thank you so much for being there. Which is my point for saying thank you, Mr. Glenn Morshower, for helping me get into and stay in a possibility mindset where I'm paying attention to people around me, listening when I'm being asked by the universe. And at the San Antonio, I would have missed what proved to be a magical moment, helping someone who, was there to be there for this young gentleman. And also, we got to have a great talk. Turns out he's flown in airplanes as well. So we talked about that, talked about the docents, about the history here. Man, what an awesome trip this has turned out to be. This stuff. It's amazing that I get part of stuff like that. And he's thanking me for helping him, for being there. And when he said, "Hey, would you help me to respond?" And I was like, you know what? You're very welcome. And thank you for allowing me to be part of that experience and making my experience at the monument here an even more magical moment as well, because it works both ways, right? That's the beauty of being of service to people, the beauty of finding out how can I help at the monument here in the back. We're walking out towards the reflecting pools. So as always, come on, walk and talk with them. And the beauty of that, and it's one of the things that Eric Florino and I were talking about. It's something that Glenn teaches, when Eric and I had lunch today, something Glenn teaches. That's the conversation that I had with Mike Jones. It's the conversation I had with Tom Check. Tom, yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm gonna mess up your name, but with Tom Sheckler in Dallas, it's the conversation that my wife and I have. It's the conversation that people are having with me constantly. And Marianne Amon, thank you so much. It's the conversation that she and I had last week. She just smiled and said, "This is what you're supposed to be doing. These are the conversations you're supposed to be having. This is the message that you're supposed to bring with people, right?" That's where this all happened. All the way up there at the top. That's where that conversation happened, and it was nothing short of magical. This is such an amazing spot. I win because it's on the peninsula in the Galveston, in what is now surrounded almost completely by what is now the Houston Shipping Channel, and nice and windy. Warmish wind coming probably off of the Gulf somewhere, off coast somewhere. It's a little bit of that kind of feel to it, like it's coming off the ocean. Not as cold as the Pacific. Excuse me, on the West Coast, getting emotional again. But it's just, and here's, I don't know if this is part of the park or if this was some of the battlements that were built here. These are older walls. They've been around for a while, so I'd imagine at the very least they've been here since this was built in 1936. The big tall honking monument behind me here was constructed in 1936, nearly 90 years ago. And looking at these walls, I wonder, was this here or was this battlements that may have been constructed as part of whatever was here on what is the battlefield? We're standing in part of the battlefield for the war between Texas, Republic of Texas, and Mexico, Santa Anna's army. It's a special place. And you know what? Places we have special experiences like I just had with this young man that I met. And we got to share the incredible view from on top of the San Jacinto Monument. And we got to share the space and share his story. And it's like I just met him. That he would share so much of his life story with me. What an honor. And I didn't used to think about things like that way. I don't know. Dang, and there's so many other people that are not with us, maybe who still are. I'm not going to name more names, but I really just wanted to give a shout out to Mr. Glenn Morrison and the extra milers. Going the extra mile. Thank you for teaching me that and setting the example and the reminder. Thank you for the reminder. Watching this, being part of the conversation. I think that's really the most important thing we can do, isn't it? We can walk with each other, be shoulder to shoulder, life's journey. I'm paying attention here to context to make sure I don't accidentally get hit by a car. They're not moving fast, but I can get distracted and walk right into them. That's another story for another time. But thank you for the Texas Historical Commission for keeping this open and having the elevator working, so it's possible to take that ride upstairs and take a look. So here's more about the historical site. If you're ever in the Houston area, or if you're ever planning a vacation, go to the Houston area and make sure that you see part of this. Don't have time to go see the Battleship Texas, but there's a lot here. It's got a lot of history, and not to take away from Texas, there's a lot of history all across the USA. Having an adventure. How about you?